The lead military police officer in the Department of Defense for the DC region actually did ask if the DC National Guard could deploy heat rays against demonstrators this past June 1st. Now, that was the day that protesters were in Lafayette Park and Donald Trump used federal agents to disperse the crowd violently, as we all saw in the videos. But now we're learning through email conversations that there was an attempt to use heat rays to make the demonstrators so uncomfortable that they would have no choice but to leave. Now, in written responses to the House Committee on Natural Resources, Major Adam DeMarco of the DC National Guard said he was copied on an email from the Provost Marshal of Joint Force Headquarters National Campaign Region. He was looking for two things: a long-range acoustic device, a kind of sound cannon known as an LRAD, and a device called the Active Denial System, or ADS. Now, the most problematic part about this is the ADS system, right? That is the equipment that would be used as a heat ray to make the protesters so uncomfortable that they would have no choice but to disperse. DeMarco, who had sought whistleblower protection, quoted from an email. He said he was forwarded to him that originated from the Provost Marshal that read, "The ADS can provide our troops a capability they currently do not have, the ability to reach out and engage potential adversaries at a distance well beyond small arms range and in a safe, effective, and non-lethal manner." The email went on to say that the ADS can direct a beam toward a group that provides a sensation of intense heat on the surface of the skin. The effect is overwhelming, causing an immediate repel response by the targeted individual. Now, luckily, they did not have the equipment that was requested. That's certainly a good thing when it comes to ADS, but when it comes to the long-range acoustic device, also known as LRAD, it actually is a bit of a problem that they didn't have it and they didn't utilize it, because remember, the crowd was forced to disperse well before the curfew that was implemented, and the government did not announce that the crowd needed to disperse. It was a surprise attack with, you see it with the gas, with the federal agents using a great deal of physical force against the protesters. And so the whole point of the LRAD would be to notify the protesters effectively so they would all hear that they need to disperse. That didn't happen, which is why so many of the protesters had not dispersed before the federal agents went in on the crowd and started using brutal force.
Anna, you're too much of a calm journalist. The dude was thinking of using a heat ray. We're talking about Dr. Evil here. He's a comic book villain. A heat ray, a literal heat ray. Okay, so you understand how dangerous and insane this is. Kirsten Nielsen, remember her? She used to be the head of Department of Homeland Security, and she was a massive right winger. She's the one who defended the kids in the cages. Back when she was at DHS, Trump apparently considered using a heat ray at the border to basically, it heats up your skin so bad you think you're burning alive. And Nielsen's like, no, not only are we not going to do that, I don't care at what cost, you will never bring that up again, she said to people who were backing up the president, as long as I'm here. And by the way, she's not there anymore, because the president doesn't like to hear that he can't use things like heat rays. I mean, what's next? Sharks with freaking laser beams on their heads? And by the way, that's not that far off. Remember earlier, Trump had suggested, this is actually true. I know it sounds unbelievable, but he suggested building a moat that had crocodiles or snakes in the moat at the border, and then spikes sticking out of the fence. And he said, I want to make sure that it could pierce human flesh, the spikes, and maybe an electrified fence and shooting immigrants, but in the leg. So when asked about it, administration officials said, well, the president really wanted things fixed quickly. In other words, they're not denying it. They're not denying it. So he is Dr. Evil. And okay, so that's the insane level we have now. And meanwhile, 50-50, I can't tell, should we vote for Dr. Evil or a rational, normal politician? Like, that's a question? That's a question. I mean, all he needs is a naked cat that he strokes for no reason. And by the way, like Dr. Evil, he only does it for the money. All he cares about is $1 million, which is, by the way, about all he has. So, but guys, on a serious note, I don't know if it burns people alive, but it certainly makes them feel like they're burning alive. And the president seriously considered using that, not only against migrants, which would be an abomination, but against our own citizens, so that he could do a photo op in front of a church with an upside down Bible.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.